All right, so what if we push the launch for the Alpha 1 week further back? No, that's not gonna work. We still have lots of work to do debugging the API to the shoe itself. We still have communication issues. Maybe we'll have to go back to Bluetooth 4.2.
Ma'am.
Yes, sir?
Bitte, helfen Sie mir. This deportation is illegal. I am not here for my own free will. My wife and children do not even...
Forward shields at 20%. We're losing a captain. Shields at 3%. One more hit and we're done for, Captain.
In the place to be right about now on Cody's Urban Show is an amazing, talented man, David Wurawa, right about now. Welcome, brother.
Well, thank you. I appreciate the invitation, brother.
So you need no introduction. You're an award-winning actor, an extensive and international body of work in film.
Yes, sir. In television and theater.
Wow, this is amazing. So how did it all start for you?
Pretty much, I was born in Africa, in Zimbabwe. And we are storytellers. My grandparents are storytellers, so I was the assistant, the guy with the masks, beating the drum, the flames, the fire, the smoke. That was me, So I just kind of got into it, I don't know, but sometimes I got this feeling that maybe I was an actor in my past life, and it just passed on into this one. I was never really a plan that I'm going to be an actor. It's just it was organic, the whole thing. So I got into acting pretty much I was forced to do a theater play at school, like a school play. It was 1980, Zimbabwe just got its independence, and they had this play called Credentials, which means your ID, because at that point, the parents had to go to work. So they had this con man, confidence man, would come and pretend to be from the electric board, and then, and then the kids would let them in, and then they clean the house out. So what the idea was to teach the kids to ask for ID, right? Identification. So the play was, about people, showing their credentials. So the kids would have, peace of mind, or anybody who was at home that, okay, these guys are genuine from the electric board or from the police or something like that. So I was pushed into doing a play, because at that point I was doing music. I was playing a guitar. I made myself a guitar. The tin guitar with a 5 liter oil gallon, the metal gallon. So I was playing guitar. That was my thing. But the lady who was my English teacher, she said, well, one of the guys who was going to play the cop, he couldn't do it anymore. So she said, right, David, you do it. And I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm doing music. That's my thing. Because at school we had these variety shows, right? And I thought, I got my band. She said, if you don't do it, I'm going to talk to your mother, because we used to go to church together. And my mother, you don't want to cross your, you know how it is. Anyway.
Definitely, most definitely.
So I took the play, and I said, all right, I'll do it. So I took the play. I went home, and I started reading, and I thought, this is interesting. I asked my dad, if he could help me with the lines. I'm pretty quick with lines. So before I knew it, that night, I learned the play, So the next day we had rehearsals, and I knew everybody's lines, right? So I was going around telling everybody, no, that's not how you say it. So the teacher's like, oh, I need a director's assistant. Would you mind assisting? I said, yeah, sure, why not? So that's how it all took off, right? And after the play, because I loved it so much, me and a couple of friends, we started a theater group at school. So every year we do street plays and write plays and make up stories and performances, and it just kind of, it just kind of rolled a snowball from there, and the next thing I know, I'm here.
Amazing, great journey. So how did you end up here in Vienna?
I had, at that point, after Zimbabwe, went to the States, and the States was in England, and from there, I went back to Africa for a while, and I went back to the UK. I was in London, and then after London, after London, after a while, it gets to you, right? Because it gets so dark and depressing. And I was getting older, and London is for young folk. You gotta have because when you get older in London, you don't want to get old in that city at all. So I figured, And then at that point, I went back home to see my parents, and then I crossed over to Australia. And after my engagement in Australia, I went back to the UK and I got a, and then my partner at the time, she wanted to work in Europe, so I got myself a gig here with the Vienna's English Theater, and that's how I came to be in Vienna. To be honest with you, I never, shit I knew about Vienna was Hitler and the Habsburg Empire, and all these great inventors they had, like Hedy Lamarr, that's what I knew about and also some of the film, like the film noir, some of the guys, that influenced film noir came from Austria. I knew because Austrians are pretty famous for inventions and shit like that. So that's what I knew a little bit about Austria. I didn't know much about it. I knew that it, politically and, the tribal war that had, the First and the Second Wars, I knew all about that. But I didn't really think I was going to live in Austria. The idea was just to do my year and leave. But it didn't work out like that. Next thing I know, I'm 20 years, a mortgage, 2 kids, married, so.
So would you say that's been a smooth transition or not ever since you've been here in Vienna, to where you are now? How's the journey been?
My journey to Vienna, the thing about me is I've always said to myself, if you want to be somewhere else, go there. It's either you make something of where you are, or you waste your energy thinking of being somewhere else. So you better consolidate your energy and focus on what you're doing. So I figured, when I first came here, they didn't want to work with me. I can tell you the truth right now. I went to most agencies, and they basically told me in my face that we don't got stories for people like you. Pretty much straight up. And this ain't no lie. Somebody thinks I'm lying, my number, call me. So I figured, I figured, okay, it's my decision, acting. It's me, I decided to be an actor, so I gotta be the one to find a way to work it, so that it works for me. I can't be worrying about what somebody thinks about me, or can't be worrying about whether somebody's gonna, so I figured, I gotta figure out a way. So what do I have that I can use so I figured, I can speak a little English. So I thought, okay, I figured, I started looking at international work. So I started working in countries like Italy and Poland and in Germany, and then I started doing theater. I was doing the theater, Theater der Jugend, Schauspielhaus, and most of those theaters. Drachengasse has been open to me in many ways. I've done so many projects in Drachengasse. It's like my second home, and I've done I've done some work with Theater der Wien, and so what happened is I figured, okay, what do I have that I can use so that I can keep working? So I started working doing international films and so forth, and that started working. And gradually, surely, slowly, and gradually, I started getting work here too. They would throw me a bone now and again, and I'll chew on that motherfucking bone and see what I can get out of it. And through those years, I just kind of gradually pushed what my agenda was, because the idea for me was I don't want to be just employed. I would like to create content as well. So I figured, I still have, I'm still a young man, I'm still growing, I got ideas, so I put those ideas on paper, and I also met like-minded people, and we got on and we started doing our own project and our own things like that. And it just took off. It wasn't easy, but it wasn't, I wouldn't say, it's not possible. It is possible because I focused on it, and you got to focus. And once everything started moving, so you have to have a plan. I had to have a strategy. Where you start and then you move on to the next stage. And so I'm trying to follow my strategy. So I can simply say I am where I'm supposed to be.
And you're happy with it?
This is it. I'm happy. I'm where I'm supposed to be. The universe understands I'm exactly what I'm supposed to be. I'm doing what I'm exactly supposed to be doing, and I know what my next step is. And when I'm ready to step to that, I'll move to that. And when I'm there, I'll be comfortable with that and learn from it and get the best out of it. I'll move on to the next stage. So Austria has been good to me in the sense that Austria actually made me come into myself and really look at myself and really focus and really think, okay, David, you can be angry or you can use it and be happy and really reach your goal. You know what I mean? So I figured I'll go for that, and I went for that because I wasn't going to come all this way, travel all around the world, and then start bitching about how the world is mean to me. Now I figured, I'm a son of the earth as well, so the earth loves me as much as everybody else. So I figured,
Of course.
if I'm gonna do something, I can create my own opportunities, or I can meet the people with the right mind, and they will give me the opportunities that I need, and that's how it's been. And Austria's been good, and the thing about it is this: it's like you need the sharp edge and the dull edge. You know what I mean? So it's been both of those,
Both, yeah.
Yeah, so.
Bit of both.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So let's talk about some of your works. I mean, you're an award winner. How many awards have you won?
To date, I got 40 awards.
40 awards.
Yeah. To date, I got theater awards, TV, film. Man, the thing about awards is this. Awards are beautiful, right? It's really good. It's nice. It makes you feel good. Your ego's a little, massaged.
Boosted.
Boosted. you get a ego boost.
And of course, you get the recognition as well.
You get the recognition, which is good, and I like that. It's a sign of respect, and it should be taken as such. It's a sign of somebody say we respect your work and we respect what you achieve and what you're trying to do, and we see the potential in you, right? So that's what awards means. What really matters to me is the relationships I build when I earn those awards. The kind of people I get to meet, the people I work with, and the stories that I get to embody or to tell. That is where the beauty, it's what I call it, the seed. That's the beauty of it all. Yeah.
Right. So, any popular people you've met along the way?
Whew, man.
The list goes on, I guess.
Yeah, but the thing about it, you never think about it. I think my first feature was with Denzel Washington, and it's Cry Freedom, and then I worked with Morgan Freeman, and I worked with Kevin Kline, Susan Sarandon, worked with Franco Nero. I just worked recently. I was shooting in Guatemala with Emil Hirsch. I met people like Sammy Jackson. The list goes on and on and on. You go to film festivals, you meet these people. You sit down, and they're great people, and some of them are approachable.
Do you have any plans in the future to have your own production company?
I got my own production company.
Okay, what's it called? What's it?
Caconatus Pictures. We got offices in the UK, and we're opening an office here. We're going to open an office in Zimbabwe as well. And Caconatus Pictures, we're doing our first feature called Uncaged, which I co-wrote with Francis Paul Sanders. He's going to direct it. We're going to shoot it in the south coast of England. And then we got another picture which we're going to do called Men in the Mirror, which is shooting in South Africa. And then we have another project which we are working on called Saba, which is a slave-resistant picture which we want to shoot in Rwanda. And I got a couple of ideas of some things I want to do in Zimbabwe, and also I want to do, and hopefully and also we're trying to put Wienerland, which is Wienerland is trying to do here in Vienna. But this is, if anything works out, I'd like to do Caconatus Pictures to be involved in but I'm involved in Wienerland because I'm EPing, executive producing it, also playing in it.
Right.
And so these are some of the projects, and I have a whole bunch of other projects that I'm putting together. One in Manila,
wow.
And one in the States called
Manila, the Philippines, right?
The Philippines,
right.
Yeah. And we got one in the States, and we're one in Italy called Blood Roots, which we're getting the financing for right now. And I'm also collaborating with a whole bunch of other people. A couple of cats from Guatemala, a couple of cats from South Africa, and over here in Austria, and Romania, Italy. So it's pretty much, and in the United States. So
I take it that the pandemic has actually not really affected you in terms of business-wise.
No, actually, the pandemic has been great to me. 2020 was amazing. 2020, we put out what we did Wienerland as a proof of concept. Because it is a fantasy crossed with the spaghetti western and with sci-fi. When you explain to investors, you think, they go, what the hell are you talking about? So we needed something that they could see. So we got that. It took a while to get together. Once we got it together, we put it out. I figured we put it on the festival, so we took it on the festival. The idea was that somebody's going to see it in the film festival, and that's it. But, excuse me, they loved it. That the festival just started taking it, you know. So in last year, Wienerland won about 72 awards. And this year we are in 40 film festivals. And right now we are talking to some studios and some broadcasters in the U.S. to do the first season. And we are still interested in talking to people that will be interested to help out, you know, financiers. And for me, the idea would be beautiful to do it in Austria. You know, if we could shoot it in Austria and keep it in Central Europe, because the story and the structure of the land and the architecture of the land and the texture of the society, it just fits with Wienerland, and I think it would be perfect here. You know, but you know, it takes a while to get everything going, but I'm pretty sure we'll get there. Yeah.
So there aren't a lot of brothers like in your position, like in terms of what you're doing, like in terms of movie and filmmaking here in Austria.
We're far and few between, which is sad. But I just wish that, you know, it's sad, but at the same time, it is not the end of the world. Everything takes time, and I think there is somebody who's still in his diapers right now, or a sister or a brother who's gonna, you know, see what we're doing and say, you know what, if these fools can do it, I can do it too. And then they come up. So I don't think we should be sad about it, because the beauty of life is it's continuous. It's always changing. It's evolving. There's new ideas. I agree with you that we do need icons. Iconography is very important. That's why advertising works. We need to be visible. We need that. But what we've done is, what happens usually, like over here, the power is in other people's hands, or it seems to be in other people's hands. And people that do not have your perception of the world, you know, so what we need to do is to find a way to be responsible for our stories, right? If not responsible for our stories, also be active in creating stories or other people's stories, and that we learn, and that way when we tell our stories, we are telling our stories proficiently and professionally.
So do you have any group of people that you mentor or train?
No, the thing about me, I have a couple of guys in Africa, but the thing about me is this: when I want something, I gotta go and ask for it. You know, you know this story. You know, the hinge that squeaks gets the grease, right?
Exactly. Yeah. True.
So if somebody wants mentorship from me, they gotta reach out, like you reached out, right? Like you reached out and said, David, I need this. Can you help me? So you reach out. This is what I cannot impose myself on somebody, because it's not going to work, you know.
Right. So, what advice have you got, or would you provide for youngins or anybody that wants to be in your position, like you, in terms of movie making, filmmaking here in Austria or worldwide, global?
I would say you got nothing to be afraid of. You got nothing to be afraid of. If somebody's hating on you, or there is some things that are making you stop because the institutions or the structure does not help you, do not be angry about that. Get a couple of people together. Write your stories. When you write story, your first story you write it's gonna suck. Second story, it's gonna be all right. Third story, even better. Fourth story, amazing. What I usually do is, when I have an idea, I write it down in a notebook and I put it away, and I look at it 3 years later and go, I wrote that? Damn, you know, this is something interesting. So I say, do not be despondent, do not be discouraged, do not be afraid. Do not be afraid. Step out there, take a chance. Do things, start slowly. There's a saying in my language which means kumanya ande kusuika. Running ain't getting there, you know? So you take your step, take your time, you got to take in what's going on around you. Be open to what's going on around you. Focus and say, okay, what do I need to get done? And sometimes you feel down. You know, life is like that. But take that, accept it, get up, and move on. We are a people of storytelling. That's who we are. If you look at the history of Africa, it's passed on from one generation to another generation. Africans tell stories through dance. We tell stories through music. We tell stories through carving. We tell stories of ancestral stories. I know cats that have 120 generations that they know who's going through, and they tell you stories. Stories it's part of us. It's in us. So we need to accept that, extract the best out of that, and then make stories. Now, when I say stories, it doesn't have to be just historical and factual. Stories tell the story. Sometimes fantastical, sometimes autobiographical. It's acceptable. It's allowed. It's look at all people, the whole world when they tell stories. They create icons, whether they're real or not. Celebrate ourselves. Tell your story that celebrate yourself in a fantastical manner or in a natural biographical manner. This is important, and we should do this with ease, without worrying about somebody's going to judge you, somebody's going to grade you in a certain way. Now, man, tell your story, and when you tell your story honestly, and I swear to you, when you tell it, you tell the truth that you are, your story will be received.
And it'll pay off.
That's right.
Let's talk about music as well. You got music background. I mean, you started off as a... what kind of music are you into?
Ooh, man, I like me some soul, funk, reggae. Give me Afrobeat anytime.
So you're eclectic, right?
Oh yeah, give me. I like some rock. I like that. I like some classical. And classical, actually, the reason I got into classical music because my mother-in-law, she worked at the Salzburg Festival, and she used to take me over to see the concerts, in summer to see the festival. And I got into that. I was like, oh yeah, this shit is good. That's how I got into it. And I also like, I said reggae already. I like salsa. I like merengue. I like zumba. I like rumba. I like garage. I like. I'm
You're all round.
Yeah, I'm all around. I'm not into hard rock and into
soft rock.
Yeah, soft rock I dig. That's cool. Yeah. So
thank you so much for your time. But before you go, I mean, which tribe was it? Is it Shona or Ndebele?
Ndebele. No, I'm both. I'm from both because my father was Shona and my mother Ndebele. So I'm pretty much I'm a perfect balance.
Okay, so you would understand Mashuita and Tatenda.
And
then Wurawa.
Nyabonga, which is Ndebele. So thank you very much. No. Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much for your time. But before you go, would you like to give a shout out to all the listeners right about now?
Yes, I want to say to everybody, let's not let this Corona thing, get us down. We are much stronger than this. We're going to get through this, and everybody's going to, and what I've noticed over this, since we've had this Corona thing is how everybody's so personable with each other now. It's respectful, it's beautiful, and how everybody's helping each other. It's a beautiful thing to see humanity just, caring each other. It's a beautiful thing. So I just want to say everybody stay healthy, stay safe, stay respectful, and we got this,
Thank you so much, David, for your time. Appreciate it.
You're welcome, my brother, and I appreciate your invitation.
You're welcome.
One love.
One love.